My name is Barry Mizen. I'm here today with my wife Margaret, two of our sons, Tommy and George. We come from the parish of Our Lady of Lourdes in Lee, southeast London, and we wish to talk about our son. Jimmy Mizen, who was murdered in May 2008. It was the day after Jimmy's 16th birthday. Went into a local baker's shop, and there he was attacked by a local man of known violent character. The fatal blow was a glass dish smashed into Jimmy's face. A piece of glass went into his neck and cut severed arteries in his neck. Jimmy then ran to the back of the shop to escape his attacker and shut himself in a cupboard. A while later, another son who had been summoned came to the shop and followed the trail of glass and blood to the cupboard and had trouble getting the cupboard open. Jimmy, frightened his attacker had returned, was holding the door shut. His brother managed to get the door open, confronted by a very frightened-looking Jimmy. And Jimmy recognised his brother, and a sense of relief came over him, and he collapsed into his brother's arms and died. Do you know, we have become a nation that is far too ready to commit anger and confrontation, and it doesn't have to be like this. And we, in Jimmy's memory, want to bring something good out of what happened to our dear son. Myself and my wife, we now visit schools and prisons, and we talk of Jimmy, but more importantly, we send a message of peace. And if we want peace in our communities, we can't wait for the government or the police or indeed our marvellous church leaders to do this for us. This is something each and every one of us has to do. So I would urge everyone here when we return to our parishes to do whatever we can to work for peace, for the common good. The person who killed my son released anger. We must release peace.
Jimmy died the day after his 16th birthday. He went off that morning to buy his first ever lottery ticket, and we were laughing about it just before he went out. 5 minutes later, I got a phone call. Get round the corner quick, Jimmy's been attacked. I ran round the corner and saw all the commotion, and I was screaming, "Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy?" And a trail of blood and glass led to the back of the shop, where I saw my darling son in his brother's arms in a pool of blood. My son Tommy said, "Mum, go outside, he's going to be all right." I went outside and I was trying to make sense of all of this. What on earth's going on? And then the paramedics turned up and we were ushered away from the shop. I phoned my husband and some of our other children, but an hour later the paramedics came out and said Jimmy was dead. It's very hard to grasp what's going on. You know, I'm the mother of 9 children, and they were telling me that one of my beautiful children had been murdered. When we eventually got home, there must have been at least 200 people gathered in our house. I had to go up to the bedroom just to try and make sense of what was going on. The only thing I could think of was that my son was now in heaven with God. I felt the real presence of the Lord there and prayed the Hail Mary and the Our Father, and I knew that Jimmy was safe. The pain was unbearable, but we got through those awful times, particularly the next couple of days. But to this day, I still know my son is safe in heaven. The next day at church, we received an immense outpouring of love from so many people coming up to us, crying on our shoulders. The comfort they brought us was amazing. God is good and works in the most wonderful ways. Over the following weeks, the response from our parish was equally amazing. Endless food was brought round, washing and housework done. Our son George here, he was picked up from school. This was all part of God's work. After we left church, there was a lot of press waiting for us, asking us questions. Neither of us knew what was going on, and we'd never really had anything to do with the press, so it was kind of a bit of a shock. But one of the things we said is we didn't feel angry. No one could understand our reaction, but we had learned very quickly that anger breeds anger. It was anger that killed our son, and we wouldn't allow it to destroy our family. So we were determined not to be angry about what happened to Jimmy. It's so very easy to start shouting and pointing the finger of blame, but this was not what we wanted to do. But we were very sad, and at times the pain was unbearable. But this is my message to you parents. Please, take your children in your arms and tell them how much you love them, how precious they are, how proud you are of them. We brought Jimmy some new clothes the day before because it was his birthday, and he looked so smart and handsome, all 6'4" of him. But what we did, we managed to give him a cuddle. We had a 3-way cuddle, Barry, myself and Jimmy, in our kitchen, and we told him how much we loved him. He told us how much he loved us. He said, "I love you, Mum. I love you, Pups." And that's what he called Barry. So we're lucky to have this memory. So please, please do it with your children. And to all you young people out there, I would say to you, please be proud of your faith, as our Jimmy was. On Sundays, he would come to church with us, sometimes a few minutes late, but he'd go up for communion and give us such a big smile. Or when Barry and I were doing our daily readings in the mornings, he'd sit with us at the table, not at all embarrassed. So please, be proud of your faith and remember that God is always with you. And finally, as part of Jimmy's legacy, I would ask everyone here to please remember him and all victims of violent crime with a hope for a future, not of anger, but of peace, where no more kind, gentle young people are taken from us. You know, it was a privilege and a pleasure to have been the parents of Jimmy Mizen, and we feel so honoured. But I'd also like to say one last thing, is a big thank you to each and every one of you for all the love that you gave us through our terrible time. God bless you all.